Good evening, ladies and gents, and welcome to the Q8 Pilot channel and another stream. Today, we are going to be taking the Toliss A319 service from London Heathrow to Newcastle in the beautiful United Kingdom. The scenery that you're seeing here is of Thai models, and today I want to show you something special before we begin our stream. But first, let me welcome all of you guys here in chat. Boeing Corp, Mike, Mr. Eagle, Flybright, Dougal Mektavish, welcome, my friend. Happy Saturday to you. Hello, Doug. Welcome aboard. Glad to have you here. Thank you for the support. Really appreciate it. Bradley Evans, and we have SCRZ. Hello, my friend. Hello, Stan. Welcome aboard. Glad to have you with us this evening. All right. So I've been playing around with generative AI. It's a subject that I have ample interest in, and I'm just really learning the ropes of how to create different cinematics and documentaries and the like using generative AI. And so I've created a couple of clips that I want to share with you guys today. So let me go to the desktop. And the first one here is this one.
Hello, friends and followers, and welcome back to the Q8 Pilot channel.
Today, we are flying from London Heathrow to Newcastle in the United Kingdom. We will be cruising at 24,000 feet, and it will take us 45 minutes.
So buckle up and enjoy the flight.
All right. So what you've seen here is something that's done completely with AI. So this is not a true character. And you've noticed how consistent these were, by the way, 8-second frames. So they are 8-second segments of the videos combined. I used Adobe Premiere to combine them. But you can see how powerful this is, and you see how it maintained the consistency of the voice and the actual character. It took me a lot of time to understand how to create consistent characters, because the generative AI allows you only 8 seconds of video. And you have to be very, very creative with how you write your scripts and how you prepare them. So let me show you another one, which is for fun, of course. There you go.
Welcome aboard, ladies and gentlemen. We're ready for an exciting journey. We are flying from London Heathrow to Newcastle International aboard this British Airways flight.
Our approximate flight time is 45 minutes. Our cruise altitude today is 24,000 feet. What a perfect day for takeoff!
All right, so that's what I wanted to share with you guys here today. Yeah, the cockpit, of course, it doesn't get everything right, but I thought it was good fun to show you guys. And if you'd like me to do more of these experiments for all things aviation, please do let me know. I'm more than happy to, show you guys, what I come up with during this journey with generative AI. That out of the way, let's take a look at our flight today, which of course you already know from Captain Barclay, that we are flying from London Heathrow, departing runway 27 right through the Omla 1 Foxtrot departure. We're going to be cruising at 24,000 feet. It's a very short flight into Newcastle. Now, this flight is a flight route that I've actually taken in real life. My family takes this route quite a bit as well, as we do have a house in Newcastle that we spend our summers in. So this flight is inspired by the real-world route that we used to take when we arrive into London. We're going to arrive about 45 minutes later into Newcastle at runway 07 through the RIMT 1 November arrival. So that out of the way, let's go ahead and jump into this. Is, by the way, really, really beautiful, beautiful scenery by Thai model of London Heathrow. And of course, we're using Orbx True Earth today. So let's take a look at the aircraft. First, here on the outside, you can see those beautiful engines there. the IAE engines today for this flight. Again, the texturing of Toliss is not bad from the external perspective, but from the internal perspective, I always feel that, you know, they need a little bit of work, as you can see here. All right, first thing first, let's do our checks here for the pre-flight inspection. We're going to make sure that the parking brake is set, flap levers and speed brakes are stowed, and the thrust levers are in the idle position. Next, we're going to go up here. We're going to make sure both wipers are in the off position. And moving to the battery, we're going to make sure we have more than 25 volts on battery 1 and battery 2. We're going to go ahead and turn them on. And we're going to go ahead and turn on external power. Oxygen crew supply is on. Ground control is on. The iris 1, 2, and 3 all on nav. Then we're going to come here, put the strobe light on auto, turn on the nav lights. We'll put the fasten seatbelt sign on and the non-smoking sign on. We'll arm the emergency lights. We'll go up here and turn on the fuel pumps. We'll do the engine, APU, and engine 2 fire tests. Everything here is good. We're just going to take a quick look here at the engineer panel, make sure there are no white lights, and we're good. We're going to go ahead and start the APU. We'll just wait for the APU flap door to open. There we go. And we're going to start. Perfect. Next, we're going to come here. There is no oxygen test, but once you click here, it will actually put the oxygen mask on the pilot. We're going to bring the lights. So let's brighten the lights a little bit here and right here. And on the first officer side. There we go. Excellent. Everything here looks good. We're going to make sure that all the switching knobs here are on the normal position. And we're going to click here on status. Status is normal. We're going to come here, make sure our radios are turned on and the weather system is off. The current transponder is on standby, and we're now good to start programming the MCDU. We're going to brighten up the displays here on both units. And let's get started. All right, so again, we have beautiful SimBrief integration. So today, we're not going to have any issues with, let's go ahead and do a request here. So we're not going to waste time entering the flight plan manually. We'll just use SimBrief, and it will automatically fetch all the required data for the flight, with the exception of the departing runways and the SIDS and stars. So if you go to the next page here, we do have all the information here for our fuel. We're going to go to the flight plan and select London Heathrow. The departure today is runway 27 right. Let's bring this up and put it on the side. There we go. We'll bring this here and this one here. So 27 right is the departure runway, and the current SID is the Omla 1 Foxtrot. So we're going to select that. There are no transitions, so insert. And next we're going to select Newcastle and select the arrival. The arrival today is the ILS 07 and the Remit 1 November star. There is no VIA, so we're going to insert that, and we're going to make sure we have no discontinuities in our flight plan, and everything looks good. Let's take a quick look here at the departure. So we're going to go to runway, actually, let's go to our SID out of Heathrow. And transition altitude is 6,000. Airport elevation is 83. We don't have any required, we don't need to configure anything in our radios, so London control is fine. Okay. So everything here is good. Let's go to the progress page here real quick, and we're going to put EGLL runway 27 left in case we want to come back. So we'll put that there, and we'll change it once we are airborne. And next we're going to go to the performance. From the performance page, let me go ahead and start the APU bleed. And remove the external power. All right. So let's go ahead and use SimBrief again here. So we're going to request the takeoff data. Alignment is in approximately 6 minutes. Takeoff data is received. So we're going to come here, we'll do a flex takeoff, insert, and now we have the V1, V rotate, and V2 at 30, 30, and 33 respectively. All right, flaps 1, and the trim is 0.4 up. Very different numbers on the smaller Airbus, the A319. Okay, so everything here is good, and alignment is in 5 minutes. Okay, so let's come back here and go to the flight plan, and we are going to clear all the information here. Right. All right. Now we're going to come to any of these. We're going to select EGNT 07, and we're going to put that there. We're going to put the radial for 27. IFR, limited IFR. Ooh, looks like the weather conditions are really bad at Newcastle, which has been, by the way, the last few days. All right, so runway 07. And let's see, where did it go? There. Okay. Here's runway 07. So 066 is our radial. And we're going to add 10 nautical miles radius. And we're going to also do next page, and we're going to do EGNT 07 and a radial of 066 degrees and 20 nautical miles. Okay, perfect. All right, so everything here is set up. Let's go to the secondary and copy the active just for completeness sake. We're not going to be using it, hopefully. And now we can put this here on perf. And everything here is ready. It looks like all the doors are closed. And we are ready once the alignment is complete. Let's go ahead and grab our weather here at London Heathrow. All right, so London Heathrow, 240 09er knots, a wind, and the QNH is 1004. So let's set that. 1004 is now set. And we're going to make sure the constraints here are selected. Next, we're going to come down here to the transponder, out reporting off. And we're pretty much now ready to go. We're going to set our altitude to 24,000 feet. Right. And let's just come over here real quick. All right. All right, perfect. So we'll have alignment in about 3 minutes from now. And in the meantime, if you look at the textures of the Toliss A319, 20, and 21, I think they are decent. Somebody must have helped Toliss with these textures because they look pretty decent. But the A330 and A340 look really bad. So yeah, they definitely need a facelift. Hello, Roy. Welcome aboard. Glad to have you here with us. Mr. Renan D. Oliveira, welcome aboard. Hello, Samuel. Glad to have you guys with us this evening. All right. So here's another look at the airport. Looks really, really nice. Looks like some wet surface here. Yeah. Very nice indeed. Today we are going to be flying in real time and real weather. So today we are not going to change the time. We'll just fly, in real time. We should have alignment in a minute here. So let me go ahead and prepare for pushback. So start pushback.
Cockpit, please show me where you want to go.
Yep, that's where we want to go.
Ground to cockpit. Tow is driving up.
All right, let's go ahead and make sure we remove the chocks. External power can be removed, I think, once we turn the beacon lights on. There you go. So the external power is gone. Perfect. Sim Crash Flyer 297, welcome aboard. I've been really enjoying your beautiful screenshots on the Q8 Pilot Discord. Man, you create some really stunning shots. Very nice. The best I've seen probably for X-Plane. Really enjoying them. Very nice. All right, so we have the tow truck now connecting to the aircraft.
Okay, all doors and hatches are closed, ready to connect.
All right. You can see here the texturing is very nice. On the, again, not the highest fidelity possible. I mean, you can see that this is, you know, not very nice here, but the wings are okay, at least. Very nice livery, by the way. I love the British Airways livery. All right, we do have full alignment now. Let's bring this back here. And let's see, we'll leave this one here at 20. Actually, let's do both of them. Okay. All right, let's start our clock here.
Tow connected and bypass pin inserted. Release parking brake.
All right, parking brake is released.
Starting pushback, and you may start engines.
And there is our clearance to start the engines. Engine mode selector to start. And we'll start with the engine number 2. Look at the water splash there from the wheels. I mean, it looks as if it's coming out of the wheel, but it's nice to have it there. I think you can see it better here. Very nicely done. The engine sounds maybe a little too... Let me see here. Let's see. Engine external. Right, if that's too loud, just let me know. I've noticed in the latest version of Toliss that it takes a little bit of, you know, applying back pressure on the yoke in order to have it roll or lift off. So something have changed definitely in the flight model, but the fly-by-wire implementation on Toliss aircraft is just outstanding. I fly British Airways all the time on VATSIM. Love the livery. Absolutely. Real-time tech, welcome. WiseXP always has a dark cockpit. This is actually something that Toliss needs to figure out. So the dark cockpit issue has been resolved by X-Plane, by Laminar, but they need to do some changes in order to make sure that it doesn't look so dark. So, all right, so we have now the second engine number 1 starting. Oh, guys, look at this scene here. Wow. Very cool. All right. Right, we have a good start on both engine. Engine mode selector back to normal. APU bleed off. APU master is off.
Operation complete. Set parking brake.
Parking brake set. And let's go ahead and
disconnecting tow. Stand by.
Set our flaps. Flaps 1. The trim is 0.4 up. Speed brake armed. And auto brake to max. Look at this beautiful wing view. Very nice. All right, we'll just wait for the ground crew to clear, and we'll be on our way.
Toliss disconnected and bypass pin has been removed. Hand signal on the left. We'll see you next time and have a safe flight.
Fly with Tobias. Hello, my friend. Welcome aboard. All right, here we go. The ground crew has completed whatever they needed to complete, and we are ready to go. So the taxi light to taxi, and everything else is good here. So let's release the parking brake. Parking brake released, and off we go. Very, very nice. All right, so cabin and takeoff config. Aha. So it says delay engine 1 oil, low temperature, delay takeoff. All right, so hopefully it will warm up. Hopefully it'll warm up by the time we arrive at the departing runway. Let me turn on the weather system here real quick. All right, there we go. And we'll put the terrain on the first officer side. You can see the bad weather here as we depart. And this is confirmed. I was just watching Flight 365 or Focus 365, real footage from London Heathrow. All aircraft are departing from 27 right, and the weather is dreadful right now. So, all right, here we go. All looking good. Very, very nice rendition of London Heathrow by Thai Models. This is one airport I highly recommend, guys. Very, very good airport. All right, here we go. And here's the hold short for runway 27 right on taxiway Alpha 3. All right, runway turnoff lights, landing lights, nose light to takeoff, strobes on, and transponder to TARA. And we are cleared for takeoff, so we're just going to go ahead and make our way to the runway. Cabin is ready. And there's 27 right. Wow, we have some really pockets of terrible weather. Hopefully we'll be fine. All right, we're good to go. Engines are stable. Manflex 72, SRS, and runway. Beautiful runway textures too, to go with this beautiful airport. V1, rotate. Positive rate of climb. Gears going up. How about that, guys? Just lovely. Yeah, we do have some really bad weather here. Right. Climb thrust is set. Autopilot 1 is engaged. And let's go ahead and retract the flaps. Speed brake retracted. Look at that, ladies and gents. This looks amazing. Look at the cloud smoothing here as we go through the clouds. Wow. Let's take a look here. Look at that. I think we better... let's turn on the wing and engine anti-ice. And I always forget the clock. There we go. Hopefully things will subside. Looks like there is a pocket of bad weather right there, but it's not in our flight path, so I think we're okay. There is a flight restriction, it looks like, at 6,000. I'm surprised you're not using Say Intentions AI. I will be using it. I figured I was going to use it actually for today's flight, but then I figured I'll leave it for some other time. I haven't used it for a while now, and I know a lot of improvements have been brought into Say Intentions. So hopefully in our next stream, which is going to be on Tuesday, I will use Say Intentions. Right, 6,000. Transition, there we go. The altimeter set to standard. And what's up with this weather? Wow. Look at that. Look at the cloud smoothing in X-Plane now. Is just fantastic. Very, very, very well done by Laminar. You see how the aircraft, when it goes through the cloud, it's very, very immersive. Alright, so we're going to remain, we'll leave the engine and wing anti-ice on as we travel through this thick layer of cloud. We'll leave our landing lights on. We'll turn off the runway turn-off lights. Yeah, we'll leave everything else as it is for the time being. All right, so let's come over here real quick. Let's go to the init page. We're going to change the cost index to 0. Next, we're going to go to the progress page, and we're going to update the arrival to Echo Golf November Tango runway 07 and stick that there, and about 207 nautical miles. Very short flight. And finally we're off the clouds here. So let's take a quick look. Guys, look at those clouds. I mean, with Orbix, True Earth, and the new clouds in X-Plane, look at that. Wow. Wow. You have got to love X-Plane. Just really amazing. All right, I think we can go ahead and turn off the anti-icing now. And we will put our range on 40. And there we go. So last week, I was in the, not last week, but the week before, I was in the United Kingdom, specifically in Newcastle, and I really, really enjoyed having a change of scenery and weather for a change, from the 46, 47, and 50 Celsius weather here to a very nice, between 14 and 20 Celsius. I went for the very first time to Keswick in the UK, and my word, what a beautiful, beautiful place. As I was walking, we went to the lakes there. They have a lot of lakes. It's a lake area, and we took the boat. And let me tell you guys, as I you know, as I went through the whole experience of walking through that area, I felt this is heaven on earth. If you are ever in the UK, I highly recommend that you visit Keswick. Very, very, very nice place. You can see everything there. Even the parking lot, there is a river that passes through the parking lot. And of course, we had a nice walk, and we saw the smallest house in the world, which is a house bridge. It's a very, very tiny house that served as a residence. It served as a prison. It was a multi-purpose. It is, of course, part of the national heritage now of the United Kingdom, and it's open for tourists to see. One of the things I visited also an old house. I forget the area, but the house was originally built in 1100, and it had roots to President George Washington of the United States. George Washington was never in that house, but his grandparents were actually living in that house. And I was really amazed. Every time I go to the UK, I am just amazed at how much effort and money is put forward to preserve the history of this country. It's not just the history of the UK, but I think I went to the Roman. There was an what do you call it? I forget the Roman. Now I can't remember. Look at those clouds, guys. There was an area where there had the Roman ruins. It was excavated back in the 60s, but it's just so well preserved. You know, they've got a little souvenir shop. You know, they've got volunteers there working. It's just really amazing, and how the English people preserve everything to do with history. You know, it's just really mind-blowing for me to see how much effort is put to preserve this. It's a really country with a great civilization. It's a very, very rewarding experience to visit the UK. Europe, generally speaking, has a lot of history because of the Roman Empire and obviously wow, look at those clouds, guys. Wow. I have to say, this is not just screenshot material. This looks very real. This looks very, very real. Look at the clouds in the distance there. This is just amazing. Wow. Here's an external shot for you. Look at the clouds far in the distance there. The sun glow. X-Plane is looking absolutely stunning. Parts of the village where I live dates back to the 1400s. Yeah, there's a lot of that Dougal in the UK, which is really, really amazing. And you'll also find, you know, one of the things I really like as well is how everything is so well kept. I mean, it's not just that, you know, they are, you know, preserving these areas, but they're making it a tourist attraction where you can go. There are a lot of guides that will walk up to you and, you know, teach you about, you know, what has happened. It's just really amazing. In a previous visit, I visited also Charles Gray's residence. He has many residences, many palaces and castles in the UK. Charles Gray, of course, has contributed significantly to the voting rights of minorities in the United Kingdom and made a lot of changes to the Constitution to allow minorities in smaller villages and to be properly represented. And he's, of course, the very famous guy behind the Earl Grey tea that I very much like. The clouds are now really close to DCS, so I'm happy. Yes, I am happy too. Right, 500 feet to top of descent. And yeah, it is definitely looking awesome here in X-Plane now. And what I'm going to do now, folks, we are going to go to the next phase, and approach phase. And we're going to enter the data for runway 07, our arrival. So we're going to go back to flights, select Newcastle, select the weather, and the QNH is 1004, obviously. And the current temperature is a beautiful 17 degrees Celsius. God, I love the UK weather. And the current winds is 136. Transition altitude 5,000. And the decision height is 50. And there we go. We are all set. And 2200 is the platform altitude at Newcastle. All right, all good here. What add-on is it? Do you mean the aircraft? Are you asking about the aircraft? Together with the MCDU and the PFP3 from Wing, the X-Plane is perfect for flying Airbus and Boeing. Yes, Thomas, without a doubt. X-Plane has really come a long way, and a lot of people have doubted, the ability of Laminar to bring X-Plane to really to the next level. Now, the fact of the matter is that Laminar remains to be a very small software company, as opposed to Asobo being a studio house backed up by a gigantic software company, which is Microsoft. And yet I find X-Plane to be at par with Microsoft in a lot of respects. Maybe sometimes better in certain areas. Of course, each sim excels in certain areas. But I will tell you this, as far as the atmospheric conditions, I find X-Plane to represent reality far better than Microsoft Flight Sim. Not the scenery, but the atmospheric conditions. So the fog, the haze, the overall color of the skies, the sun glow. The sun in MSFS 2024 is not realistic at all. And then you always have that lens flare, which is just an immersion breaker for me. So X-Plane doesn't have these things, and I think the sky, once you are flying at above 30,000 feet, once above 5,000 feet, I think you'll really appreciate how realistic X-Plane looks in terms of the atmospheric condition, the scattering of the clouds, the lighting engine in X-Plane is remarkable. It's very, very good. Microsoft didn't even need to appear at the FS Expo. I find that very arrogant towards the buyers. I think, Thomas, Microsoft never really made it there. I think Asobo has made it in the last 2 years, and I think this year they didn't really have anything to announce, and I'm sure that they were going to come under heavy criticism from the community for the catastrophic release of Microsoft Flight Sim 2024, which is still pretty much an unstable sim in my opinion. All of the promises of backward compatibility and all the hype that it received has really gone to pretty much zilch. So I think they didn't have face to show because they didn't have anything to announce. So I think that's part of the reason why they didn't show up this year. But I don't think Microsoft has ever made it there. I think both of the guys always that were there, they were Asobo guys. We have Woolman just subscribe to the channel. Welcome aboard, my friend. Glad to have you here with us. Enjoy your time. Unfortunately, Soba has a problem to keep up with the speed of what MS wants. If it is a U.S. corporate company, after all, that is just my upright opinion. Don't get me wrong, but MSFS looks good. Yes, it does. It does look good. And a Sobo, I'm sure, can have a say in as far as release dates and whether they can or cannot deliver. Yes, Microsoft is going to push, but if they don't push back, they'll just ask for more money and say, hey, this is a variation order, and pay me extra $250,000 for me to bring the timeline 3 months ahead. So, being in the software business, I know how these things work. So, yeah, I mean, I'm very sure that something very similar to this has happened behind closed doors. That Microsoft wanted an early release just so that they can retain 2024 and not say that 2024 is releasing in 2025. Oh, by the way, we forgot our landing lights. And let's release the passengers as well. That's fine. Okay, so if I look here, where is our top of descent? All right, so that's our top of descent. A little bit, I think, too late for the descent. Let's check our Navigraph charts here. So 1,100. So we are 133. Okay, so we are at 24,022. That's 22, 44, 66, and 70. All right, so 76 nautical miles. We should begin. Now the clouds are looking a bit funny here, but they look really good on this side. Orbx True Earth really makes X-Plane look very, very nice. I wish that they would just create areas for all different regions in the world. Just look at this very pristine scene. All right. They made an announcement that they were going to remain at home to work on the sim. Still prefer X-Plane. You're most welcome, Woolman. Hello, Stefanos. Welcome, my friend. Glad to have you with us this evening. So, definitely, X-Plane is on the right path. Today, I think it still lacks a little bit in some areas, especially when it comes to harnessing the power of multi-core. X-Plane remains highly a single processor dependent. It doesn't really make use of the more powerful GPUs that are available now. Well, with the exception of course, having a lot of VRAM, which allows you to run the textures at the native resolution without compressing them. So, yeah, I mean, in that respect, yes, but it doesn't really harness the power of the most recent.
Add-ons are in for visuals, or just raw XP?
To use add-ons for visuals, well, our experience. Thank you very much for coming in with a €2 super chat. Thank you very much for the support. I really, really appreciate that. Very kind of you, sir. And to answer your question, I'm not using anything at all to enhance the sky colors or the lighting. This is all default. The only thing I am using here is the Orbx True Earth, which is the scenery. Here we're flying over the United Kingdom. And the other thing is the London Heathrow Airport is a payware scenery. Other than that, everything is pretty much default X-Plane 12. What would multi-core improve in X-Plane? Performance. It would improve the performance significantly. So let's load on CPU and without a doubt, yeah. I'm just looking at my CPU temps. They are a little bit high. Well, they're not high, but they're higher than usual. Yeah, it's coming down now. Let's see. Is 2024 multi-threaded? Well, it uses better. It makes better use of multi-core and the GPU. XPlane looking very great. Then I'm in Corfu. Ooh, very nice. Can't wait to get back to flight simming. Excellent. All right, we are almost at top of descent. So not very much longer. Let's take a quick look here. And we are 36 nautical miles from top of descent. We are going to reset the MCP altitude. So 2200, I believe, is the platform altitude. All right, that's 22. And let's just double check. Indeed, 2200. Yeah, this is a very strange looking cloud that we're approaching now. Sometimes the clouds look funny, sometimes they're okay. But this is looking very strange right there. Maybe it's a towering cloud, so it's not just read properly or not injected properly into the sim. I have a question. Hello, sir. I've been an MS flight sim user since 2000, and I'm lucky that I have had no major issues with 2024. Between Phoenix and PMDG, I feel that I have everything I need. That's perfect, Andrew. That's perfect, my friend. Both are very high fidelity aircraft, and don't get me wrong, I am starting to enjoy Microsoft Flight Sim 2024, especially with the iFly 737 Max and the FS Labs A321 and 321 Neo. Personally, I know Phoenix is more polished, maybe in terms of the electronic flight bag. It has better integration with SimBrief, but hey, in real life, I mean, if you're looking for, again, realistic procedures, in real life, we don't really have SimBrief, right? But nonetheless, yeah, I'm really starting to, I personally like the FS Labs a little better than Phoenix in terms of the looks. I think the cockpit especially looks really, really good in the FS Labs rendition of the Airbus. Alien mothership cloud, something like that, yeah. All right, so we are going through that alien cloud, and it looks like, all right, so here's top of descent. We can actually begin the descent now, because I feel that, let me see, how many nautical miles are we far? We're 87 nautical miles. I think we can begin, maybe, yeah, it's exactly like my calculation, but I'm going to go ahead and descent now. So we're going to do a nav descent. There are a lot of restrictions in our path, so we have constraints. Okay, perfect. So we are going to turn on the fasten seatbelt sign, and we are going to come over here. Let's go to perf. Next phase, we're just going to take a quick look here at our VAP. All right, perfect. All right, so we've begun the descent now towards Newcastle. Approximately 33 minutes after departure. A short flight. a very pleasant one. I flew this again in real life many times. Hello, Rand Cooley. Welcome aboard, my friend. Garmin Pilot is basically SimBrief for real-world pilots. I guess so. With 12.3 bring the private alpha now, they're addressing the multi-core usage, and as Ben Supnick said, they gain about or up to 30% better FPS. Woof. Wow. That's like a dream. That's very good. I'm sure it's going to be highly dependent on hardware, though, and the specific situation and the PC configuration. But, yeah, that's very encouraging. Yes, Mr. Valero, welcome. And I agree with you there. The NETA, the Jaggies in X-Plane are terrible. Today I did a flight with the A320neo and everything took forever. The EFB is basically useless. It also makes GSX really slow. Nearly 1 hour to board the plane. You can, if you go to the MCDU under the options, I've shown this in the first stream, you can go there and do an instant load so that you don't have to wait for GSX, because and you can use it as realistic, or you can set it to be you can set it to be very realistic or not realistic at all and do an instant instant loading of everything, your fuel, your passengers, your payload. So yeah, I tend to skip GSX. I'm just really not interested in watching passengers load. I mean, I understand if you're doing a cinematic, maybe that's something that you'd like to show. But for me, I just really like to fly, so I always skip the passenger and cargo loading, unless you want to do like real world procedures. You want to show how long it takes and what the captain would do going down, doing while the captain is configuring the FMC, the first officer does the walk around and things like that. Yeah, then it comes in useful. It comes in very useful. GSX can be set to time compressed loading as well. Yes, correct. You can do it from the GSX menu. That is correct. It looks like, guys, it's going to be a very cloudy approach into Newcastle this evening. But that only adds to the fun of the entire trip, entire flight. Okay, 19,000. We're looking good. There are a few restrictions here at 16, and then we have at 12,000. And we're descending at about 1,000 feet per minute. If we look here, you see this here, it's saying that we need to descend faster. So what I'm going to do, folks, is I'm going to go at 1,800 feet per minute to expedite our descent. That's another thing I noticed in the latest version of the Toliss aircraft. Some issues there with the nav descent. So just don't bother, the GSX integration is working against. With the FS Labs, you have to go through the MCDU menu, then go to the GSX. Correct. X-Plane 8, as interesting as it was very ahead of the 2004. I never installed the next version, especially after X-Plane 9 came out. Oh! Wow, I didn't know that, Judd. Yeah, it's X-Plane has always, I think, been a serious contender in the flight simulation arena. Right, we're coming now to the clouds here, and maybe it's not a bad idea to turn on the wing and engine NTIs as we go through those clouds. And everything is, we can't really see anything now as we go through those clouds, and I think it's going to remain this way for quite some time. Let me use the speed brakes here to bring the speed down a little bit. All right. All right, we can decrease the rate of descent now. 1,500 feet per minute. And everything is looking good. We continue to fly through those clouds. Toliss doesn't have those problems because there's no GSX for X-Plane. Simcrash Flyer, enjoy your day. Have a beautiful day at work. And I thank you very much for the support, Aaron, for being with us here for as long as you did. As you did. Thank you very much, sir. All right, we can come here and bring back the speed brake. Right, looking good here. Wow, it's all clouds. Very thick layer of cloud here as we approach Newcastle. So I suppose, do we have any rain? Did we see any rain in the... yeah, there is light rain. Light rain and mist. See that? Minus RA, that's light rain. All right, perfect. Right, let's turn on the landing system. There we go. Here is our 20 nautical mile ring. So we're almost there now, folks. Do we have a speed restriction of some sort? No, I think we're good. 244. Why does it want to go? Looks like it set the speed to something else. One thing I like about X-Plane is that even when I have low FPS, I never have stutters. Yeah, X-Plane is very good. Is a very smooth sim, and when it runs really well. Even at lower FPS, it runs really well. All right, we're looking good. It's, by the way, once we make the turn here, the right turn, I wish we had received runway 27 for the arrival. That's the runway that we landed at aboard the Emirates flight that I took from Dubai to Newcastle. It was a beautiful approach over the North Sea, very spectacular. It was a very low altitude, and as the aircraft made the turn, a left turn for the ILS, I was looking over the window, and just the North Sea is one of the most beautiful sea that I've seen. It's so clean, and it looks just spectacular from above. It was really, really nice. All right, 10,000 feet. landing lights, nose lights, runway turn-off lights.
For landing, please adjust your seat back so they are upright and stow your tray tables. Please turn off any laptop computers and stow them. Flight attendants will be walking into the cabin one final time, picking up any remaining cups, glasses, or other service items. We'll be landing soon.
All right, below 10,000. Let's go ahead and put the auto brake. Looks like the cabin crew is preparing the aircraft for arrival.
Place your seat in the original upright position, with footrest stowed and headrest lowered. We will now collect any items you wish to discard. Please put away larger electronic devices, including laptops.
All right, and we are going to arm the speed brake. We are a little too fast here. Need to bring the speed down for sure. All right, there we go. All right, well, unfortunately, we weren't able to enjoy the beautiful scenery here of the northern part of the UK because the route to Newcastle is a very beautiful route, even in the sim, even in X-Plane with Orbx True Earth, looks really, really nice. So it's a bit unfortunate, but that's okay. So I just found out that a fabulous streamer, Trent Tarleton, passed away last year. He helped me. Oh, I'm very sorry to hear that. Q8, when will you fly the 777 version 2 again? Possibly in probably in a week or so. Right, 20 nautical miles, and here's our turn. We're at 6,000 feet. Transition altitude here in Newcastle is 5,000 feet. So let's, I think it's 1004. Yes, it is. And gee, we've been just flying through clouds all this time. We haven't been able to see any scenery. Look at that. Wow. All right, that's close enough. Standard altimeter, 1004 is set. We are looking good. $4,000. All right. Let's see. At 3,000. Yeah, we'll leave it now. Let's just continue the approach. But no. So Bradley, the cabin crew announcement is part of the sound pack that I'm using. Today I'm using, I believe, I'm using the BSS sound pack. I do like the COSP sound pack a lot better though, but just I wanted to test it, so I thought, you know, why not? Let's, all right. So let me go to manage descent now, and we're going to set flaps 1. We're 2,500. All right. Looking good. Here's the 10 nautical mile ring. We're almost now at Newcastle. I'm going to leave the engine NTI's equipment on for the time being. And hopefully we'll be able to see the ground. Otherwise, we're probably going to have to do an auto land today. Right. Speed brake armed. Looking good. Right. Cabin crew. Seats for landing. Right, we're looking good. 2200 is our platform altitude. And the weather is just going to be dreadful today. All right, we can see the diamond ring now. Or the diamond icon moving down. Right, well, everything is configured. We can barely see the ground now. All right. Okay, looks like it's going to be rough, guys. Okay, let's set this to 10 nautical miles. And we're going to go ahead and click here on approach. We're going to select flaps 2. Very well. Speed is decreasing now. Looking good. It's really unfortunate, by the way, that the clouds are so dense today that we were unable to enjoy the beautiful scenery here at Newcastle. Maybe a little bit. There you go. Look at that. All right, so we are looking good. Here is the center fix. We're approaching the center fix for runway 07. Localizer captured. I'm not using any texture mods for the aircraft, no. Right, here we go, and we're lining up with the runway now. And heading over to the final fix. Alright, let's go ahead and go flaps 3 and select gear down. Yeah, it's gonna be rough, guys. That's for sure. Yeah, visibility is not bad. Right, speed check and flaps full. Alright, landing gear is down, signs are on, cabin is ready, spoilers armed, flaps are full, and we're gonna turn off the engine NTIs now. And the before landing checklist is now complete. We might need to do an auto land today, Dougal. Yes. You live in Spain, in southern Spain, so you know a real summer. I do too. I live in Kuwait, so I know what summers are like. Yeah, 46, 48 in July, and then next month it's going to go to the upper 50s. So, yeah, it's going to be very, very hot. Right, we are descending towards runway 07 here at Newcastle in the beautiful United Kingdom. The visibility is just very, very bad right now. So it looks like it's going to be an auto land. So let's turn on Autopilot 2. Just in case, if we are able to see it, I still don't have a visual on the runway. 1000. Yeah, I definitely cannot see the runway still. Is that the runway? I'm not sure if that's the runway or not. I think that's the runway. I'm not exactly sure, but I believe that's the runway ahead, right there. 500. Right, I think we can... Yeah, I think we better just do auto land. I really can't see anything. Alright, here's the runway now, finally. So we're just gonna go ahead and disconnect the autopilot now. My aircraft. What happened there? Whoa. That was dreadful, wasn't it? I'm not sure what happened. It kind of touched down before it touched down. I'm not really sure what happened there. There was a stutter before we landed. Well, we'll take a look at the yeah, I'm not sure really what was... Let's take a look at the... there was something very strange that happened. As if it touched down while it was still in the air. Yeah, you saw that? That was really strange, wasn't it? Let's take a look now. Please don't crash. Please do not. Thank you. Alright, let's see what happened here. It's a really nice approach, though. Something very strange happened. Right about there. No, it didn't do what we saw earlier. It looked okay in the replay. It's definitely a very firm landing. And of course, when you are in weather conditions like this, you want to do a firm landing. You don't really want to butter it. It was a little bit too much, though. But considering, wow, look at the weather, guys. Look, this scene is just wow. Let's do it from a bit of a distance there. There we go. There. It's pretty cool, huh? All right, let's do it one more time with the wing view. Did you have XP Realistic going? It looks like maybe you did some sneeze or something. Maybe, yeah. All right, so here. I really am not sure what happened, but it kind of threw me off, really. I need to turn off XP Realistic. This is really beautiful. Look at Orbix True Earth as well. Really, really nice. All right, let's do the other side here. Look at that. Can remove this. Enjoy. Hello, Newcastle. check that wing flex. And that's exactly how the control tower looks at Newcastle Airport. This is, by the way, default scenery of Newcastle. All right, so there we go. Let's make the turn and head over to... I'm going to pick the same gate that we parked at when I visited the UK. You can tell that I already miss being there. All right, so runway turn-off lights, landing lights off, nose light to taxi, strobe to auto, and let's go ahead and start the APU. The replay was a lot better than the actual landing. When we did the landing, the replay looked a lot better. Look at the fog, the smoke. I mean the splash there from the tires. Look at how the mist is represented in X-Plane. It looks gorgeous. Look at the mist there in the distance. Looks so realistic, so good. All right, let's start the APU. There we go. Yeah, the landing wasn't a great one, without a doubt. Not the best of my landings. And we can also stop the clock. About 47 minutes. You say that's Newcastle default. That looks really nice. Yes, it is default. This is default Newcastle Airport. Looks really good. And this is one of the things I really adore about X-Plane 12 is that the default airports are very well represented with very accurate layouts. They're not, you know, the buildings don't look exactly like the real thing, but the layout looks exactly the same. So they do have this terminal building, they do have those buildings there. And now I went to the airport in real life many times, so I have a very good idea of how the airport looks. And this is here where we parked, where the 777, Emirates 777 flight parked right there. That's the gate, right? This one here. So we're gonna make the turn. Now the markings could use a little bit of a there we go. We'll take stand 10. There we go. There's the line. And parking brake is set. Excellent. And APU bleed on. And now we can turn engines 1 and 2 off. Taxi lights off. All right, and there you have it. You can turn actually off the beacon light. There we go. And ladies and gents, there you have it. The Toliss A319 for X-Plane 12.2.1. Again, I really am very fond of how X-Plane is starting to look now. I mean, this is a default airport. Of course, the scenery around it is Orbx True Earth. But I love the weather in X-Plane. I love the mist, the fog, the clouds. Here, if we go, actually, there, look at those clouds. Wow. I mean, this is really looking very nice indeed. Many different layers of clouds. And if we go through them like that, yeah, there's definitely a lot of clouds there today. All right, so there you have it. And I hope that you guys have enjoyed this stream as much as I enjoyed streaming it for you. Thank you very much, guys, for the support. And before we go away today, let me go here to our top fans today. So we have Lenar, you coming in number 1. Thank you very much, Lenar. Appreciate the support, my friend. We have Dougal McTavish in number 2, Stan in number 3. Thank you very much, guys, for the support. We have Roy, number 5. And we have PRO VAT 70 in number 6, Strand Cooley number 7. And in number 8, we have XX Thomas. Thank you, everyone, for your outstanding support, and special shout out for the top fans in our stream this evening. I will be streaming again on Tuesday. I will not do a poll for our next flight. It will be more than likely a Microsoft Flight Sim flight. I will do the A321 Neo by FS Labs more than likely. We do have a nice airport provided to me by MK Studios of Adelaide in Australia. So more than likely we're going to do the flight there on Tuesday. But until then, please take care of yourselves and each other, and I will see you all very soon. Thanks for tuning in, and bye-bye for now.